Georgia remains one of the top cotton producing states in the country. The cotton harvest won't come until fall, but summer is a critical time in the growing cycle. Greg Loyd takes us on the farm for a progress report on the cotton crop and examines how science benefits growers.
We're well into the season. We're into the probably third to fourth week of bloom, maybe a little farther along in some places. The first bloom is going to be white.
Okay.
The second day, it turns pink. So you can keep track of when these things bloom.
So in other words, this one just came out today.
This one came out today. This one bloomed yesterday.
Every day, blooms burst through Georgia's growing cotton crops, dotting fields with slight hints of color. A nice rebound from a dry June.
We've had one of the wetter Julys, and the cotton made it through. You can still see some remnants of fields that were planted that were when it was a little dry. And you got some up and down fields, but for the most part, most of our cotton looks really good.
Jeff Cook, UGA's Ag and Natural Resources agent for Taylor and Peach County, says the dry June also impacted herbicide applications.
We're in probably about the second or third applications of our herbicides, trying to keep fields clean. Herbicides work and work better when things are growing well. So, our normal June applications didn't do quite what they were supposed to do. So, we're trying to play some catch up there. But, insect-wise, disease-wise, everything I'm seeing right now looks pretty good and pretty clean. So right now, what most growers or consultants or agents are looking for, we're looking for general diseases and things. But the biggest thing we're looking for is stink bug damage on maturing bolls. And to do that, you find a fairly good-sized bowl, about a little bit bigger than a dime, but less than a quarter. Crack it open and look at the inside of the bowl, and see if you see damage. If you see damage, that at a certain threshold, it triggers a spray. But we're not going to go out usually and just spray to spray, because that leads to other problems. If you go out there and spray insecticides without needing to, you disrupt the balance of beneficial insects.
Georgia's farmers still keep a watchful eye on their growing cotton crops to guard against insects that could harm them. But one of their biggest enemies of decades past, the boll weevil, almost completely eradicated from Georgia fields, thanks in large part to scientific research by the USDA.
I can't remember the last time we had boll weevils detected in Georgia. I know there was at least one time since I've been working my 22 years that I remember that I think there being a boll weevil found somewhere, and they came in and sprayed it. But yeah, the eradication program has been a real success.
In fact, Cook says science and research now means cotton farmers rely less on chemicals than they did in years past.
Before my time, they used to spray cotton, 13 to 15 times for insects. Just insects, most of that being the boll weevil, but then also bollworm and bugworm. Nowadays, we might spray 3 times, and if we do spray 3 times, it's usually for stink bugs.
Going forward, one of the biggest threats to Georgia's cotton crop heading into fall and closer to harvest time is the weather.
Harvest season for cotton is usually about the time that hurricane season is really peaking. Everybody knows that from Irma and Michael the past few years. We had a lot of cotton destroyed when those hurricanes came through.
And though rising input costs have taken a toll on farmers across America, Cook says there's been no noticeable decline in Georgia's cotton crop for 2022. On the farm, I'm Greg Loyd.